Welcome to another edition of Great Health, Abundant Happiness, and Outrageous Love. Mwah. I think you wanted to read something out of the book that you wrote.
I did want to read a little excerpt out of the book because I was on YouTube in some other people's channels, and there were a couple of people that were reeling over toxic relationships. They had recognized they were in toxic relationships, and they had gotten out of these relationships, but they were sad about that loss of the relationship. And I thought it's really important for us to understand why we get into relationships that are toxic or that are not toxic, that are healthy. So this little section on the book, I think, answers a lot of those questions.
Great. For you guys that don't know, Karen and I are writing a book, Great Health, Abundant Happiness, and Outrageous Love, just all about, we're sharing little tidbits of our secrets to relationships, healthful living, meditation, all that kind of stuff. So I haven't even heard this yet, so I'm looking forward to it.
Right, and it's really important for you to understand that as we share things, we're not sharing just, you know, the good stuff. We're sharing how we got there, because clearly we both had relationships before we met each other, and each one of those, whether toxic or not, is part of the journey to get you to the right place, right? So here goes. So there are many reasons why relationships are as they are, but as humans, we can only project out what is inside of us. So our reflection of our partner is full of whatever we're full of. This is the foundation of all love as we each know it at a specific time. And it's really important to understand that the way that we know and understand love can change, and it does change. And that's why we can go from a toxic relationship, and we realize once we recognize the toxicity and what makes it toxic, that we obviously don't want that. We can release it, and in the next relationship, we don't accept that.
Well, we always have full control with our mind. You know, our own perception is our own reality always.
Always, exactly. So all relationships, you know, so the one fact that's most key to all love experiences that we're going to have is what's inside of us. So like attracts like. Our vibrational energy attracts more of the same. We were full of hope, anticipation, excitement, wonderment, respect, joy, curiosity, magic, and so much love when we met that we saw all those things inside of each other. And that's that feeling of, the oxytocin that releases in your brain because you're feeling all of that magic, all those high vibrational feelings, right? Now, you know, it's really important to understand we didn't have the low vibrations of fear. There was no fear, no hate, no doubt at all. Now, sometimes we let that creep in, not us in particular, but, you know, us as humans. We can be in this relationship that has all of those feelings, and then bam, something happens. What happened? What happened is that we let fear creep in.
You know, we've got a bunch of tools and videos you guys have seen in the past, the love book and the gratitude book, and things we do to kind of keep that stuff out. We're not perfect either.
Definitely not perfect. You know, we argue, and I always tell people, if you're not having a disagreement, then you are not communicating with your partner at all. And that doesn't mean we disagree all the time, but sometimes we do say, you know what, sweetie, I think we're going to have to agree to disagree respectfully on this particular. And other times it's like, wow, I didn't realize that point of view. That I like that point of view. I'm going to adapt that.
Well, I think that's the learning as we mature. You know, I try to do more of that. Obviously, as I hear you saying that, I'd much rather have you agree with me. I think most people would. But
sure, our egos always want that.
But at the end of the day, to override the ego, I mean, I purposely listen to people, even if it's on the total end of the spectrum or where I'm thinking, I'm just like, well, why would they think that way? Let me listen to that. Well, it's interesting that they think that way. And it opens my mind up rather than saying, they're wrong, I'm right, they're wrong. That's a very dangerous path to go down.
Definitely, spot on. So for some situations, as we're talking about, They're not always as favorable, mainly because the person is not in the best place within themselves. And that path that Jeffrey's talking about, it's not because of the other person. It's because of our own self, our own fears, our own doubts, our own insecurities, our own questioning of our own self-worth. So therefore, the approach to love or any and all relationships is going to reflect that insecurity that's within you if you have it. So for example, when someone belittles another, or if something's really irritating you about this other person that's infuriating you, you have to look within yourself, because it's usually a mirror image and has nothing to do with your partner. It has to do with you, something that is within you that's irritating you, that's being revealed. And it's really important to look at that and look at those messages and determine, you know what, I might need to step away from this relationship because it's toxic and I've allowed it because I don't have the right self-worth. And this person doesn't deserve me because I'm going to be working on my own self-worth and my own self-love. And that's so important. And that's what we're wishing for all of you today. Great health, abundant happiness, and outrageous self-love.
Thanks, guys, for listening. I think Alexa loves this. She's going around. She's recording the thing.
Ooh, Alexa's
Hopefully,
going crazy.
I don't mind as long as she doesn't come out with the book ahead of you.
Peace out.